Sam kicks off today's game with a mountain. John follows up with a forest and an elvish mystic, while Tom mirrors John with his own forest and elvish mystic. Extra then ends the first turn cycle with a swamp. On his second turn, Sam plays a mountain and casts Firebrand Archer. He passes. John plays a forest, then casts an Urza's Incubator, naming Beast, and passes. Tom plays a breeding pool, paying 2, and casts a Snapping Void Craw before passing the turn. Extra plays a mountain and casts a Talisman of Indulgence, followed by a pass back to Sam. Sam plays a mountain, then casts Bergie, God of Storytelling, and attacks John with his archer before giving the turn to John. John plays a forest, then casts his commander, Slinza, the Spiked Stampede, alongside a delighted halfling. After that, he passes. Tom plays a Yavimaya Coast, then casts a Thought Vessel, Explosive Vegetation, getting 2 islands, and Boreal Druid in order. That's about all he can do for now, so he's forced to pass to Extra. Extra plays a Swamp and casts a Decadent Dragon, paying 1 life, before giving the turn to Sam. Sam plays a Riverglide Pathway, followed by an Urbrask, and a Path. John first casts a Caller of the Pack, triggering Slinza to have it fight Void Craw. He then goes to combat, attacking Tom with Slinza, before giving the turn to Tom. Tom plays a forest and casts his commander, Koma, World Eater, ahead of schedule. Once in play, he passes. Extra plays a Sulphurous Spring, then casts Grim Hireling, before going to combat, sending the dragon at John, triggering its effect to make a treasure. Hireling also triggers to make 2 more treasures, followed by a pass back to Sam. Sam plays a Tap Thundering Folds, surveilling to the top, followed by an Opt, triggering Archer to deal 1, Bergie to make a red, and Urbrask to make a red plus deal 1 to John. Next he casts an Izzet Signet, again triggering Archer and Bergie, then ends the turn with a Sulfin, Mayhem Dominus. John first casts Cultivate, finding a forest and a mountain. He then plays said mountain and casts a Gruul Rage Beast, getting 1 counter thanks to Slinza alongside a Rage Beast trigger to fight Urbrask. He goes to combat, attacking Extra with Slinza and Caller, triggering Caller's Myriads to make 2 temporary copies, which trigger Rage Beast, fighting Hireling and Bergie respectively. Once that's settled, Koma blocks Caller, and the turn goes to Tom. Tom first casts Wild Growth on a forest, followed by an Urban Evolution. He plays a forest, then casts a Nissa's Pilgrimage, getting himself a forest into play, while 2 go to his hand. Next he plays an added forest, and goes to combat, sending Koma at John. Koma triggers, making 4 Comaless Coils, before passing the turn to Extra. Extra first casts a Mayhem Devil, then sacrifices a treasure to make a mana, triggering Devil to ping John's Mystic. He casts an Academy Manufacturer, then goes to combat, sending his dragon at John, triggering its effect to make a treasure, clue, and food thanks to Manufacturer. In his second main, he sacrifices 2 more treasures, making 2 mana, triggering Devil 2 times on a halfling. With that mana, he casts a Feed the Swarm on Rage Beast, and gives the turn back to Sam. Sam plays a Command Tower, and casts an Aria of Flames, first triggering Archer to deal 2, followed by Aria to make each opponent gain 10. After that, he attacks John with his Archer, and passes. John plays a forest, followed by a Ravenous Baloth, that enters with an additional counter. When going to combat, Tom steps in with a Reality Shift on Caller, which gets sacrificed with Baloth, gaining John 4 life. Having lost his Caller, he proceeds to his second main, casting a Herald of Ilharg, that enters with a counter, triggering Slinza to fight a Coil. Once that's settled, he gives the turn to Tom. Tom plays a forest, and immediately goes to combat, sending Koma at Sam and the 3 coils at Extra. Koma triggers, making 4 new coils. Then in his second main, he casts a Spring Bloom Druid, sacrificing a forest to get 2 new ones, while triggering Devil to ping the Mystic. After that, he passes. Extra first goes to combat, attacking Tom with his dragon, triggering its effect to make a treasure, clue, and food. In his second main, he casts a big score, discarding a card for cost. Next, he sacrifices a treasure to make a mana, triggering Devil on Druid. Then he casts Yuri, Master of Review, paying 1 life. He sacrifices 3 more treasures, triggering Devil on Slinza, and Yuri to get 3 counters. He casts Evereth, Viceroy of Plunder, and uses her effect to sacrifice a food, triggering Devil on Slinza, Yuri to gain a counter, and Evereth to get a counter of her own. He activates Evereth again, sacrificing a food, triggering everything once again. In response, John uses Baloth, sacrifices dying Slinza, gaining 4, and triggering Devil to ping Spring Blue. He once again activates Evereth, this time using Devil on Archer. Followed by 5 more Evereth activations, triggering Devil on Baloth and Yuri to get 5 counters. Before dying, he uses Baloth to sacrifice itself to gain 4, and trigger Devil for a final time to deal 1 to John. With this, the long turn comes to a close, and the turn goes back to Sam. Sam has an even better turn than Extra, with simply passing to John. John's only play is his commander, Slinza, the spiked Stampede, triggering Ilharg to get 2 counters and deal 3 damage to each opponent before passing. Tom plays a tapped Hedge Maze, surveilling to the graveyard. He goes to combat, deciding to have Koma attack Sam, who doesn't quite want to get hit, and as such, casts a Chaos Warp on Koma, paying for ward, and triggering Arya, targeting Extra. Warp then resolves, finding Tom and Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, with triggers, drawing a card, gaining 3 life, and sacrificing itself, while also triggering Devil to ping Tom. In his second main, he escapes Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, again drawing and gaining 3, before recasting his commander, Koma, World Leader, and passing the turn to Extra. Extra first casts Atsushi, the Blazing Sky, paying 1 life. He activates Evereth to sacrifice Atsushi, triggering Devil at Tom, Atsushi to make 3 treasures, foods, and clues, while Yuri gets a counter alongside Evereth. He then uses Evereth 6 more times, using Devil to deal 6 to Tom, while Yuri and Evereth gain 6 counters each. Next, he sacrifices 3 treasures for mana, triggering Devil and Yuri, followed by a Talisman activation, which then gets fed to Evereth. With this 4 mana, he casts a Ruthless Technomancer, sacrificing Yuri to make 22 treasures, clues, and foods, triggering Yuri and Devil to deal a total of 23 damage to Tom. Evereth then devours the rest of the tokens, triggering Devil each time to take out Sam and Tom, before sending Evereth herself to take care of John, and bring another victory to Extra.